Hi crypto fans, welcome back here with more news on the Bitcoin, and today we're looking into more updates and more information. The government fears Bitcoin and they are expecting to try to sink it in, but all I'm saying, it's not going to go down like Titanic did. It's going to go and going to rise up like Burj Khalifa, and that's what you need to understand. When the finance comes in, the whole world will suffer and the government will have to accept it. So that's what we have, right? Let's start. What do we have here for today? The largest pools of capital on Earth will soon be entering the Bitcoin market with massive buy orders based on retail demand for their ETF products. These firms have $30 trillion under management advisory, and selling Bitcoin will be easy because the stage is set. The 60-40 portfolio is dead. 30-year treasury bonds are down 50% since 2020. Smart money is starting to understand that the financial system is a sham. A lot of that money is on the sidelines wanting to flow into Bitcoin. Uncle Larry will normalize the inclusion of Bitcoin in a standard portfolio allocation. Bitcoiners understand the nature of money and economics better than other group of people, including the thousands of PhDs who work at the Federal Reserve. They have all drunk the Kool-Aid and they actually believe in the Keynesian system, but we understand that fiat is a scam and we have no intention of giving up the hardest asset in the world in exchange for it. Point is, there's a wall of money about to flow into Bitcoin, and there aren't gonna be a lot of sellers. Yes, miners will be forced to sell some Bitcoin in order to cover electricity costs, and I suspect that most other people are going to hodl. There will be an army of hodlers, hundreds of millions strong, all around the world, peacefully rejecting tyranny and doing their part to restore sovereignty to the people. On the demand side, there are going to be an estimated $10 billion per month of new demand entering the market and hardly anyone on the ask. And while a sophisticated hedge fund might be able to cleverly and patiently lock into Bitcoin position opportunistically, these firms are going to have to buy spot Bitcoin as a retail investors remit cash for ETF shares, and if $1 billion comes in on a random Tuesday, the firm has to turn around and buy spot Bitcoin, even if there are hardly any sellers, even if their buy order pushes up to the price by 10k on a single hourly candle. No one is ready for this. Bitcoin scares government and banks because it gives us, the people, the ability to transact without relying on the banking system. The Bank Secretary Act was established in 1970 by the US Financial Crisis Enforcement Network. The mission of the BSA was to safeguard the financial system from the abuse of financial crime, including terrorist financing, money laundering, and other illicit activity. The BSA required banks to report cash transactions over 10k using the currency transaction report, properly identify persons conducting transactions, maintain a paper trail by keeping appropriate records of financial transactions. 10,000 in 1970 was the equivalent of almost 80,000 today. So what does this mean? The Bank Secrecy Act is being used to surveil smaller and smaller transactions. Since the value of the US dollar has dropped, transactions that are 10,000 or more are becoming more common. And a car in 1970 was under $4,000. Today the average car is 40k. If you paid cash for a car in 1971, your transaction likely would not have been reported. Today there is a very strong chance that it will be reported. This also applies when you leave the US and try to take your own money out of the country. You would have been able to take 10k in cash or other monetary assets across the border in 1970 and report it. Today the amount remains the same at 10k and is $12.50 in 1970. And if these rules weren't designed to surveil people, the limits would have changed. Not increasing the amount means more of our transactions are being tracked. This just goes to show, the goal of financial regulation isn't to protect us, it's to trace and govern as many of our transactions as possible. Attention future people, don't hold the Bitcoin ETF long term. When Bitcoin price rips and everyone buys ETF, they'll say it's safe and being paranoid. I was here before them pounding the table to buy Bitcoin when they weren't, and I warned people of FTX. Don't fall for it. BlackRock named Jamie Dimon's JP Morgan and their authorized participant for their potential Bitcoin ETF. This guy literally said earlier this month that the US government should ban Bitcoin. You see how these disgusting bankers work. You can't make this shit up. That's all the information we got on the Bitcoin so far. If you're interested in more updates, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more coming today and more coming tomorrow. See you in the next one, and peace.